The Nintendo Switch is a system that, well, in 2024, let's face it, it has a lot of problems. It's just the truth. We all know that, and honestly, like everyone, kind of made my peace with the fact we've still got a little wait ahead of us to learn anything about the successor, even if they should have old yelled this console a while ago. Now, if you don't get that reference, do not worry about it. Old yeller is traumatizing. It's best not to know. But let's just say here what I mean is they should definitely have moved on. Now, before we do get into this video as well, it is different for the channel. Subscribe, like, and comment, just so I know you enjoy it and I can follow up with more. Today though, I want to start diving into problems with the current system, which I hope to see corrected with that next iteration, and that is starting today with the eShop. This is not a rumour video, just a wish list on my part, because if I have to watch another rumour video, I think I'm going to tear my own head off. They've been banging on about it now, the new system, for years, and they always just pat themselves on the back when they get something finally right. But honestly, look, excuse the language here, but if you throw enough shit at the wall, eventually something's gonna stick. You know, if I told you, for example, that the Switch 2 will be announced tomorrow, but then I tell you that every single day, guess what? Gonna be right eventually. Just know that I've wasted your time for a whole lot of days in the process. So now on to the eShop, why we are here today. And first, I do want to address a big pain point for me personally. There's been complaints about studios re-releasing games and bundles of past releases, and to that I say,
don't hate the player, hate the game.
It's a culture that Nintendo have fostered thanks to poor systems, and it's one they definitely support. You know, if they didn't, they wouldn't allow it to happen. So when you are pointing at studios, perhaps you're probably pointing at the wrong person. And I think that's really a big kind of highlight of Nintendo. Their greatest trick has always been the fact they've persuaded the world they are this family-friendly company when in reality they are just any other money-hungry corporation, and probably with the most curious history, from associations with Yakuza back in the day to more recent actions where they've blocked charity offense from using Smash Bros. Their language is money, and I'd say that about all of the big three, so that's Nintendo, Microsoft, and Sony. One area where we do have a massive problem, however, is quality control. Nintendo need to do a better job of protecting the consumer, and I'd say go as far as offering refund options should it be uncovered that a publisher has straight up, lied about their title. And that is a common practice, honestly. It's pretty frequent to see basically a cheap asset flip, they package it with AI art, and they add in screenshots and a description that are just largely false. I think the biggest candidate of this was Midnight Works, who trade under a few different names, and I sing all of them out today because my friend Luke over at Switch Stars focuses a whole lot of time on covering these games in general, and they are repeat offenders, and their leadership team frankly just have really questionable practices. And I don't say questionable practices here lightly. They recently went as far as asking internal staff to report Luke's YouTube channel. This was one of their HR team members, and basically their own team members, they've been messaging Luke warning him about what is coming. So really says a lot, doesn't it? You must be lovely to work for if your own staff are turning against you. What sort of HR policies do you have internally?
I'm also going to need you to go ahead and come in on Sunday, too.
Now, I'm going to be linking Luke's video down below where he breaks it all down. Watch it. It's really important stuff that we must all get behind. It's also worth noting here as well, and this is how you do it the right way, by the way. They tried to drop their games on the PlayStation Store, but it appears they quickly got banned, and rightly so. Nintendo need to take a similar action. It's not just Midnight Works either, but the slew of publishers just like them. They even have a practice, and we're seeing this quite frequently now. They're changing their name so they can appear to be someone else. Midnight Works just recently changed their publishing name to Elano, spelled E-R-L-A-N-O. So do be very careful when you're looking around the eShop for something to purchase. Often, if it looks too good to be true, it's very much the case with their releases. The funny thing of all of this as well is it's actually surprisingly difficult to make Nintendo remove a game from the eShop myself, even with asset flips included. I can only name two. One was a drunk driving simulator that was, I think, literally the title, which is, let's face it, about as irresponsible as it gets. And then there was the Last of Us clone, which was clearly Sony's doing. They were protecting their own IP because Nintendo didn't even think twice about letting it on the eShop. The crazy thing of all of this to me though is you have crap like this coming through the gate, but then quality publishers think like Puppet Combo, they recently got denied their game on the Switch. Now they make PS1 styled horror games. This one was called Christmas Massacre. You guessed it, it's a holiday themed horror game with a killer Santa and a talking Christmas tree. This was deemed too crazy for the Switch, and I think their priorities are just all wrong here. Let us decide what is thematically suitable for ourselves. You worry about companies conning us out of cash with games that barely function. Now, as I said, look, Luke, Switch Stars, it's the only resource you need to avoid these practices, so again, find his channel below. Then let's move on to more technical problems with the eShop, and namely, I want to start with the general functionality, the filters. It is useless at best. It's kind of what created the culture of re-releasing games in various styles, because if you're not on the first few pages, then really it's going to be game over basically. No one's ever finding you, and it creates a battle to be on that upcoming and new release page. You know, after that, it's really only when the game goes on sale, and if you never put your game on sale, then no one's going to find it without them specifically searching for it. Nintendo pretty much optimizes their front page currently for only the heavy hitters. Even from an indie angle, it's no doubt on the top end of budget of that area for the industry. But what this all means is you need to drop your game on sale to give it even a remote chance. And it's actually funny, we now get so many games on discount, it can largely be thanked for a good portion of my own growth on YouTube. We just hit 60,000 subscribers, thank you all so much. But I've done over the years somewhere in the region of 500 deals videos, and that count is only surpassed with reviews, which is somewhere in the region of 650. I hope to see a system in the future which takes into account your library. If you've played this game, we think you may like these games. You looked at this a couple of years ago. Guess what? It has a massive sale. It can't be a store that is one size fits all. You know, games like Firewatch, it's only been on sale a couple of times. Love that game, but I guarantee very few have thought about it in the last, let's call it 2 years. Maybe the once it went on sale in that period. Mantis Burn Racing, a game I always push in my top races each year. It's not been on sale since 2019. It is incredible, but you're only finding it if you go to the eShop, look for the genre racing, and then no doubt go ahead and scroll for days. Outside of this, then, I think there's so many possibilities, more filter options generally, especially in relation to your wish list. Allow us to tailor it as we please. You know, I'd love to see the ability to then remove genres or specific publishers that we no longer want to see. You know, think about it. You see an asset flip, you remove them. If Nintendo see enough people are removing them, then perhaps they see there's a problem. At the same time, though, at least we can remove the crap. I also, in a way, think user reviews would be a good thing, but it would need to come with some, restrictions, a verified purchase, and a minimum playtime. What about some music too, like the Wii? Give us something to listen to rather than a few bleeps as we scroll in silence. Finally, and this is hopefully the guaranteed one here for the next system, less lag, quicker loading, so we don't have to suffer through snail-paced scrolling, and even a cart so we can purchase multiple games at once. I really think that's an easy one, or at least I hope it is. Better hardware in my mind should lead to this, but I guess who knows, we'll see when the new system drops. So what do you all think? What is it about the eShop that you would like to see fixed? Is there anything I've missed in relation to these changes? Let me know in the comments. With that, if you did enjoy the video today, subscribe and like it. It's really the easiest way to support the channel. It also means a huge amount to me, and I'll see you all on the next video. Thanks, everyone.